When it comes to facts and figures of our life, to tell the son confidently, you go alone, be in the forest, propitiate the Lord with all the necessary austerity, how much persecuting it may be, and propitiate the Lord and redress the distress you are suffering from. What extent of confidence is there? If you rely upon God, your reliance will have to be supreme, unadulterated. There should be no flinchingness in it. It must be exclusive, wholesome and continuous. If that is not so, then why are we having it? So the mother confidently sends the child. It is this kind of confidence that devotion should imbue you with. This is the message you have to understand. Evam sanjalpidam maduhu agarnya arthagamam vajaha sanniyamya atmanatmanam nischakram pidufpurad. A 5-year-old child going from the palace to propitiate the Lord Hari, and he is going to be in the dense forest of Madhuvanam. We don't know how long. And the entire episode came to be in a matter of about 20 or 30 minutes. This is what Sreemad Bhaagavatam has to tell you. As a part of the devotional narration, it has taken up. My dear viewers, I would like you to imagine the whole scene as if it were taking place in your front. The palace of Uttanapada. The 5-year-old boy, son, going to the mother. The mother trying to console him, but give him a direction. And that direction is purely spiritual. She says that the only source from which you can expect relief is from the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. You must have full concentration. Apply your mind exclusively on Him. Have no other thought or concern. Be alone in the dense, huge forest, Madhuvana. Be alone. Do not think of anything whatsoever. Now that boy, that son, after having listened to what the mother says, never questions her. He never expresses a doubt, fear, apprehension, concern or anxiety. With full acceptance of what the mother said and being prepared to generate and muster the total exclusive devotion towards the Lord, he just quits the palace. The only parallel that I can think of in our cultural history is Sri Rama quitting the palace of Ayodhya. But mind you, what was the age of Rama? He was already married. Sita was by her side. He was accompanied by Lakshmana also. All the three of them were adults indeed. But here is a young boy, just 5 years old. I don't have real words, but I have a lot of imagination to picture before you the cultural history and the greatness that it had mastered and mustered right in the remotest past of this wonderful land. Through legends, through personal narrations, personal influences, this culture has been built so strongly, so irrefutably, so impeccably, that even today it remains vibrant in our land. When it is narrated, you may think that it is a story. But when I narrate it to you, I am not a story. You, the viewers, are not a story. And whatever is the interaction between you and me in the form of narration, it is not a story. It is more than 100% a reality. This clearly tells us what is the magnificent potential the human mind has, no matter whether the body is young or old. Sri Krishna repeatedly emphasizes that the whole creation, not to speak of the universe, the visible universe, the entire creation is constituted of 8 factors or components. The 5 are the Panchabhutas. The Panchabhutas are inert. They are visible and extensive before us. But they are inert seemingly, not sentient, not intelligent. But we find a lot of intelligence, order, rhythm, cycle, etc. here. There are plants, so many other creatures, living beings, and finally we, the humans. In all of them, there is something called sentience, acting vibrantly. And in the human, the sentience is maximum pronounced and the most potent. The entire creation will not have been over only with inert substances like the Panchabhutas. So Krishna says, apart from the Panchabhutas, there are three constituents. Bhumir apo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. This is a verse from the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The three additional constituents are mind, intelligence, and ego. You can never find these anywhere outside in the world. You cannot find them in another living human body also. The only way to have access to them, have a feel or touch of these, is in one's own living body. Now this mind, its potential, intelligence, equally its perceptiveness, ego, the wonderful power of assertion it has, all these are the same whether it is in a young boy or a grown-up adult. The body is governed by age and years of growth. So far as the mind is concerned, it is a spiritual constituent. The quantum of memory may differ in a child and in an adult, but the potential of the human mind, the intrinsic worth, merit, capacity, ability, readiness and resolve it has, they can never differ at all. Our culture emphasizes this point most paramountly, extremely well. And that is how we see the young boy just quitting the palace, exiting from the palace, caring for nothing, fostering no concern. I would like you to understand that every one of us has this potential, this readiness and this resolve. They do not depend upon any external factor or even the age of the body. Just see the boy goes all alone. I am reminded of my own Parivrajaka life years back in Kerala, when we decided we are going away. We were in a separate building in our own farmland. All the members of the family were there. When we announced that tomorrow we are going to have our Parivrajaka life, neither the father, nor the mother, nor the other members of the family, none of them said no to it. They also did not express any apprehension or doubt about it. So with all of them seeing, we quit. We exited from our farmland and started walking northward. We had only a spare set of clothing. Perhaps a walking stick I had. I like it. Not that I was old. Maybe we had a copy of Bhagavad Gita. This is all what we had. And we walked. But mind you, I was about 23 years old at that time. But here, when I hear that the little boy walked away, I am feeling a little envious about it. I think I should have walked at the age of 4 from my house, not 5 even. So it makes me so inspired, so enlightened. The greatness of the human mind, the power and potential it holds within itself, this is what is revealed here. He started walking alone. What a beautiful smile, what a courageous temper he must have had. Imagine it very well. This is how you imbibe qualities. Mind grows with concepts. Mind grows with attitudes. Mind grows with emotions. Body grows with food and nourishment, or physical and external. You have to listen to the stories of such spiritual, religious excellences and exploits. With every word read, spoken or heard, you will find the qualities begin to grow in your mind. The mind will start swelling with all these qualitative excellences. What an eventful, memorable departure it was. By all means, par supreme, par excellent. When he was going, there is a Narada Maharshi we have. He will be present whenever you want and wherever it is necessary. Narada Maharshi was the first person to see him, to some extent greet him. He greeted the boy, but actually to dissuade him. When Rama decided to go to the forest, every member of the palace opposed him. All of them said, put this old father into the bars, put him into the prison and sit on the throne. I think if my memory is correct, even sage Vasishtha said to him so. With everyone resisting his resolve, Rama's resolve started growing in strength, in magnitude, in the inspiration, in the compulsion that he felt. So obstructions are necessary for the successful and glorious pursuit of anything whatsoever in this world. Let us not be afraid of obstacles. There is something called hurdle race. That hurdle race is always superior to plain running. As many hurdles as you can overcome, so much strong and better you become. Here also it is a hurdle race. So Narada dissuades him. What are you out, my dear son? I am out. My mother told me I must go to the forest, sit in solitude, fully drenched in austerity, to propitiate Lord Mahavishnu, so that the denial, discomfiture that I suffered in the hands of my mother and father, stepmother and father, can be assuaged. I am out for that. So he said, what? Mahavishnu? Lord Mahavishnu? Duraradhyaha. It is not an easy joke, my dear son. It requires tremendous austerity. Stunning austerity is required, and for a long time. So you cannot propitiate the Mahavishnu. Many of your ancestors had tried. None of them succeeded. At this tender age, what are you trying to acquire or procure for you? It is impossible. Better go back. Allow some years or 2 decades to pass. When you become an adult, you can think of doing austerity. As a tender boy, when you go to the forest with none to protect you, safeguard you, what will your fate be? Will there not be wolves? Will there not be tigers? Will there not be bears there and wild pigs? All of them relish human flesh. What is it that you are trying to do? It is impossible. It's a wrong decision. It's not at all right. I don't know why your mother said it. Listen to me, I am a mature sage. And we are the people who are the custodians of devotion and devotional austerity. With all the experience I have of myself and of the world, this is what I have to tell you. You know, when Narada, after initially greeting the child, started speaking to him in this manner, you find what happened. Dhruva answers him, my dear sage, I respect you, but I cannot accept your words. I am inflicted by the hard and piercing words of the stepmother. My heart is bleeding with pain. I am a Kshatriya, you should understand. And a Kshatriya blood will never allow this kind of an intolerant behavior from anyone. I will not accept it. I am a Kshatriya. You say it is very difficult and hard to propitiate Mahavishnu with austerity. So many people have tried and failed. That is why as a Kshatriya lad, I would like to succeed. I don't want to do what others have done. It becomes conventional. It becomes simple. It becomes common. I don't want that. I will attempt something that is exceptionally great and glorious. You are a person who has been moving and rambling about in this world. You have wide experience. With all your knowledge, if you can help me, shower me with something which will benefit my resolve and help me, please open your mouth further. Otherwise, never say anything more. Go away the way you have come. I shall proceed on my own. This is what Dhruva said. My dear viewers, are you listening to me? Does the process of listening evoke any imagination in you? Any kind of a realism in you? What are we hearing? We are hearing a conversation between the mind and the intelligence of the human. One side is the mind, another side is the intelligence. And there is an interaction between the two. Unless we have a consistent, a constant and incessant interaction between an intelligence that is wise and mind that is ready to receive newer and newer knowledge and inspiration, human life is not going to be elevated at all. Narada was very, very happy. Apparently he was trying the boy by dissuading him. So when you dissuaded him, the real color, the true strength, the true inner resolve came to the forefront. Narada immediately complimented him and gave him a special mantra. That mantra is famous in this land ever since. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. This is the mantra. This mantra was given by Narada. And then Narada said, go to Madhuvanam and start your austerities there. Your meditation should be exclusive and really absorbing. Therein lies your success. Young children are generally far more fit to pursue the path of devotion and propitiate the Lord. The Lord is merciful to all, but He is all the more so towards the young blood. So you have the advantage of your young age. Perhaps in the history of our country, nobody had done austerity so powerful and so focused austerity any time before you. You are perhaps the first number one in the path. So Mahavishnu will be extremely pleased. He will fondle you. He will give you an asana, an abode, which is imperishable forever. So go with a lot of hope, confidence, resolve and readiness. I wish you well. Dhruva reached Madhuvanam and started formally and ceremonially his austerities. We call it tapasya. He first of all had a bath in the Yamuna waters. And the first night itself, he fasted, complete fast. Altogether, he had to perform 5 months of austerity. And let us try to understand how the austerity grew in proportion. Austerity is something new when you hear it for the first time. When you start taking it up, you will find austerity becomes your habit, your culture, your refinement, your inspiration, your compulsion, and your most endearing pursuit. As long as we don't do it, to think of fasting for half a day, oh, I cannot have any such fasting. Why? Our stomach is as happy with fasting as with appeasement of hunger. There is nothing that is impossible for us. Our body is very flexible and very viable. If you give it 4 times food, it will be eating 4 times food. Suppose you start giving it only 3 times food, then it will be happy with that. Maybe each time the quantity taken or consumed will be a little more. So, he bathed in the Yamuna waters and completely fasted for the night. The first month, he was eating only once in 3 days. Are you marking my words? Once in 3 days. The way he commenced. Initially fasted for the night. From the next morning onwards, he started eating only once in 3 days. So our 24 hours became 72 hours for Dhruva. His day of eating consisted of 72 hours. And what was he eating? He was eating fruits like kapitha and badara. The 2 types of fruits that were available in Madhuvanam. One of them is a wood apple and the other is called cotton seeds like some substance. He was eating these 2. When it came to the second month, his sense of austerity and readiness for intensifying it, doing it in a greater and a deeper measure, gripped him. So he started eating once in 6 days. My dear viewers, are you following me? At least mentally you do this austerity. Physically you may not. You can, but you may not. I don't say you will not, you can. So from the 3 days, he extended it. What will a runner do? Initially he will run for 5 kilometers. After having trained himself for 5 kilometer run, he will attempt 7.5. And with the 7.5, he will increase it to 10 kilometers. A man who is taking weight, initially he will take X weight. After some time, he will be forced. He will have the feeling, I must try fervently, X plus. Thereafter X 2 plus, 3 plus like that. So the austerity also was enhancing itself by its own spirit. So once in 6 days, he was eating. And what was he eating? Not the fruits, kabitha and badara, not that. He was eating grass and fallen leaves from the trees. Just imagine. Every product, biological product of the earth has some nutritional value. Normally we are giving to eating fruits, very rarely roots, all of them, vegetables. Now the leaf also has got nutritive value. So he was eating grass, various types of grass, which do not constitute food for us. On the other hand, this grass is beautiful, nourishing food for animals and birds. So he started eating grass and leaves which are fallen. They are available all times in the year. Not like fruits, they have seasons. Then in the third month, his austerity further grew. All are multiples of 3. 3 days, 6 days, and the next will be in 12 days only once he started eating. And the third month, he resorted to water. No physical food at all. And taking water, he was getting more and more absorbed in his samadhi, in his concentration. In the way in which he got absorbed into the point of contemplation, the subject of contemplation, Mahavishnu himself, his four-handed, beautiful, Shuddha Sattva form, this was the object of contemplation for him. So in the fourth month, once in 12 days, what happened? He gained breath control. Means what? He was taking only air once in 12 days in the fourth month. So from the third month, from water, he progressed to air. Until then, he was taking earth's products. He substituted the earth's products with water. And he substituted both with air. Air is even more nourishing than water. Because in the air, you will find all the different forms of fragrance coming from different leaves, flowers, fruits, and so many other things. All of them will be surcharging the air. So if you can breathe air, that air itself will give you sufficient refined nutrition. So he was steeped in samadhi. In the fifth month, he left even air, says Sreemad Bhagavatam. I think merely by listening to it, all of you will have become ascetic and austere as I narrate this Dhruva episode now. My purpose is to evoke an austere response in your mind. Physical performance is external. Mental performance is internal. Even the physical austerity is meant to bring about a mind effect. Without performing the hardcore austerity, the listeners of Srimad Bhagavatam will be able to imbibe this austerity benefit in their mind. This is what Parikshit got. He never got up from his seat. He never went to any forest whatsoever. Fasting he already was doing. In spite of it, what did he get? On the 7th day, he completely got absorbed into the supreme presence within his body. This is the way, startlingly, the effect is had. So in the 5th month, what did he do? Even the air intake, he left. He was standing on one of the legs. After some time, he would change his legs. In spite of this change, his mind remained absolutely absorbed in the thought and contemplation of Mahavishnu. Understand that there is something called contemplation. The entire austerity, as we know it, it's all physical and oral. You say, today I am on Mauna and never speak. Today I am a single time food and the evening food you miss. Or you can say, I am on fruits. Today is Ekadashi. This kind of a thing you say. But true austerity is supposed to touch the mind, involve the mind, and make the mind absorbed in the thought of God, contemplation of God. Even if your stomach is full and you can contemplate upon God, I for one will say no objection to that.